My name is DJ and I'm crazy enough to buy 100 Phantasmal Flames ETBs. Now I know what you're thinking. DJ, are you stupid? DJ, are you crazy? Do you not know that wave 2 is coming? Yeah, dude, obviously I know all of those things and I would actually consider buying more things during wave 2 if it's cheap enough. If the deal is really good in times like this, during the market crash, during the correction, call it what you want. I'm always looking for opportunity. I mean, I'm not new to investing. I'm doing investing a very long time. When things are bad, when there's blood in the streets, I'm gonna look for the opportunity, guys. And that's the difference between me and some other people. Maybe this won't work out, right? I will say this. I have these for sale on the store, Black Friday weekend only. It's gonna be $78. If they sell, cool. If they don't sell, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put them in storage. I'm gonna lock them away. Next bull run, these suckers will probably be 300 bucks, at least 250 a pop, and I'll just get rich off them. I don't care, like fuck it. You know what I'm saying? If you wanna buy them, cool. If you don't, that's cool too. For the people who probably haven't made it this far in the video, but have already commented, "Good, you're the reason I can't get Pokemon, good." That's literally how you sound to me. I want you to know that. That is how you sound when I read your comment. No, I am not the reason you cannot get Pokemon. Literally anybody could go out and buy a bunch of Pokemon as long as you have the money, okay? I'm not taking from you. I'm not going to the store, buying up your little Pokemon. It's online, it's a free market. Literally anybody could do this. So let's talk about Phantasmal Flames. I mean, is it a good set? It's okay. It's not the greatest set in the entire world. I will say though, long term, aesthetic wise, who would not want this on their shelf? I think it's fantastic. Now, so far, I have not got all 100. I am actually missing, I want to say 22 because lovely UPS did not bring my 4th box and I did buy 100 off the same person. But yeah, unfortunately, so it should be 1 row higher. So I have 2 cases down here. And if you choose to buy a case, you have to buy 10 or more. I will send you a case. That being said, they are opened. Unfortunately, I only have 2. So up to 20 ETBs I can give you in the original case. It just happens to be opened. But no, Phantasmal Flames is not the greatest set on earth. I get that, right? And I'm also not paying the craziest price ever. You know what I mean? I'm not paying $100 or $120. I'm not asking for $95 or something. So it's pretty close to what you could get the price for at Target. I remember I bought a couple things in my life from Target. I want to say like Lucario Mega ETB, and that was about $65 from Target. After taxes, we're talking like $68 depending on your state. I know California is probably like 70 bucks. So paying $70 for each one of these, I thought was a pretty good deal. Here's the thing, man. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for 6 months, a year, 2 years. Good for you. And you probably will end up finding that for your 60, 65 plus tax. Good job, man. That's awesome. But for the people that watch this channel, I would assume they're investors, right? They're people trying to change their life, change their family's life. And yes, they also collect on the side. Like me, I'm a heavy collector. I open a lot of Pokemon. I open way too much Pokemon, right? But you're trying to change your life. And the only way to do that is sometimes you got to take risk, dude. You know, you're going to have to take risk in life, man. I've taken a lot of risk and I'll tell you, probably 75% of them worked out. And that's not just Pokemon related. That was real estate. That was crypto. That was Bitcoin. That's Pokemon. That's comic books, whatever it was, has mostly worked out great. And some of the risks that I took just simply didn't. It is what it is, man. You're never going to know what the best set's going to be. But I can tell you one thing. If people don't end up buying these, like I said, the sale's really quick. I mean, don't buy them if you don't want to. I don't care. And I'll wait until the next bull run. The good thing about Pokemon that I really like is that if you sit on it long enough, more than likely, it's going to appreciate where you want. If you look at it on a month-to-month basis, hell, if you even look like 5-6 months out, it doesn't really matter, right? Because it always has the chance of a reprint. Wave 2, we know for Phantasmal Flames is coming out. We all know that. So yeah, I would expect the price to probably be like Mega Evolutions did. I think Mega Evolutions is about $80 to $85 right now. So what could happen with Phantasmal Flames in the short term? It's about $86 market. I expect that to go to about $80. Wouldn't be surprised if it went all the way down to like 70, the mid 70s or so. But after that initial wave, right? After that, I mean, what else is there? Yes, people are going to be talking about Mega Dream. They're going to be focused on Ascended Heroes, but there's still nothing there. That's the problem. You're not really going to get Ascended Heroes all the way until February. And even in February, it's not till the middle of February when you get ETBs. Could we get more Phantasmal Flames? Absolutely. Definitely. But overall, I mean, it's not the worst buy in the world. I also finally pulled the trigger on Japanese Pokemon. Kind of scared on this, but I'm also not too heavy into it to where I'm like, okay, this is gonna kill my store or something. So I did just purchase 40 booster boxes for Mega Dream. And if you didn't know, that's gonna be the Japanese version of Ascended Heroes. Normally, you know, I've been really worried about it, especially with all the release times being so close, but this one's literally like 3 months out, 4 months or whatever it is until people start getting a lot of Ascended Heroes. And there's gonna be nothing between, guys. Your options are Phantasmal Flames or sit on your ass. That is it. And so I think in between that, this is the perfect opportunity for me to get involved in Japanese. I personally think the 40 booster boxes are probably gonna sell out like this. I'm gonna price them fair, you know, just like I always do, make a little bit of profit off it. The most important thing to me is that people are coming to DJ's Poke Center, you know? And what's really cool and interesting is I think on average, I have 3 to 4 orders from returning customers. So once you order something, it's not always like this, but most of my customers have come back anywhere from 3 to 4 times on average, which is fantastic, right? So the hardest thing is like get them to the store, get butts to seat. As long as you give them a halfway decent deal, a little bit under market, that's really all it takes, guys, a little bit under market, and people will return. They find out about your store, they find out you're legit. And so that's what I'm hoping what could happen with Japanese. We'll see on that. There's also some other things that I'm interested in for Japanese, like some of the more popular sets. The problem is finding a decent price, and I've been working that a little bit. So I'm hoping, you know, this is just my entry to it, and maybe I'll find someone even better. I don't know. The price is decent for what I'm paying, but after tariffs and stuff, we'll find out. I'm hoping to land to you guys around 115 or 120 a booster box. Don't know if that's the cheapest. Don't really want to be the cheapest, right? And so what I've noticed, when you try to sell for the cheapest all the time, you also get those kind of buyers as well. And there's kind of a difference between being cheap and being smart. Nothing wrong with being smart, but being overly cheap, I think Alex Hermosi really talked about a customer like that. These people naturally complain a lot. They're only going to look for the lowest deal ever and stuff. And it's like, that's not really who I'm trying to get. I'm trying to get people who want a decent deal, who maybe live out in the middle of nowhere. I've heard this all the time. Listen, if you live in like New York City or California or Florida, you probably have Pokemon everywhere on your Facebook, everywhere. But you have to understand there's a lot more than these big cities. I hear it every single live stream, like, dude, DJ, thank you so much for the service you provide, because there's literally no store within 50 miles of my house. And these people still want to be involved. And you would be surprised how many people out there can't just go to an LGS close by. Or if they go to their LGS, people like me are 15 to 20% cheaper. I'm also getting a lot of people reach out for Canada. So if you are from Canada, you can always DM me. We could try to work something out on the side. I just don't open my store publicly to outside of the States because it's just too much risk. You know, as somebody who's been watching Rudy from Alpha Investments for over 8 years now, every time he makes a video talking about the crash and how we see all the Timmies, the same cycle of everything, I think back to myself and I say, wait a minute, I've watched you experience that. I've also experienced it myself in other markets. And I just know that I want to buy more. Again, selectively for a good deal, for a decent deal, right? Something off of market. And yeah, it could go down a little bit. That's our risk, right? What is the worst case scenario with buying this at like $78? Like, honestly, oh my God, it went to $70. Like, is it the end of the world? Is it really gonna matter? And you know what? If you open it, who cares, dude? Have some fun with it. But it's not 90, 95, 100, right? That's when things start getting a lot riskier and you could lose 25% of your investment and such. And yeah, I don't think this is going to be the greatest set ever. I do think that Charizard's gonna hold a lot of value, very long term, right? I think people are going to look back on that. People are going to want it. As you know, as Team Rocket Joey says, there's a lot of people say Charizard kind of comes in and out of ways, right? Champion's Path. Doesn't matter. Pick whatever set you want to talk about. Charizard's super, super hot, and then he's not, and then it's right. It just goes back and forth. Don't worry about all the noise, man. Invest in what you think is a decent investment. And I honestly think in the short term, people are going to laugh about this. They're going to be like, you're an idiot, DJ. And I get that. You know what I mean? I totally understand that. But if you look back at Sword and Shield, if you look back even further, I bet you if you held even the junk, you're pretty happy, right? The greatest part about it is, like I said, don't buy it if you don't want to. That's cool. With Pokemon, it appreciates anyways. over time. And the longer you hold it, the more it goes up, not while it's in print, right? We all know that. There's definitely better opportunities out there, but they're also more expensive and I can't get the quantity that I want. So keep that in mind. Let me know what y'all think about buying 100 ETBs. Is that crazy? I know for some people it's like the craziest thing ever. I will say in a single purchase, this is my largest investment. It's really for the store. Again, if it doesn't work out for the store, it'll become an investment. And I think I'm going to look back on this video 3 to 5 years from now and be like, wow, that was the smartest thing I ever did. Real quick, if you are just a collector trying to open this up, I do have 2 or 3 that have damage like this where the seal is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with the seal, but there is a little opening. I will sell this to you for $75, but that is strictly for collector, for somebody who just wants to open it and look at the cards, maybe for this Christmas or something, 75 bucks. I want to say 3 out of the 80 so far that I've received are damaged like that. I got you. Anyways, it's the holiday season. Things are down. The markets are crashing. The full-on panic is going, and that is a good thing for you. What can you look around at? Is it Destined Rivals? I don't know. Destined Rivals is extremely high. Are you taking advantage of this TCG sale? Are you getting an additional 10% off your Destined Rivals booster box? Are you looking at PayPal? I think a non-TCG talked about this, and you getting another 10% back using the PayPal. I forgot what it is. You have to look into that a little bit more. Are you looking for opportunities, or are you simply waiting for MSRP, waiting for this fantasy to happen, waiting for this huge bear market crash, which is probably not gonna happen, guys? Don't try to predict the future. Don't sit on your hands too long. It's okay to sit on your hands a little bit and be smart, be selective. I get that. But to just sit and have no action the entire time, hey, to each their own, but you're never gonna change your life that way. Risk is your friend if you use it correctly. Remember that. As long as you're not using leverage, as long as you're not using credit cards and loans and all this stupid stuff, I pay everything out of either my business account or my debit card. Literally all of it. I will never ever buy any Pokemon off of credit or anything stupid like that, because when you do that, you have to make payments. You put yourself at risk. And that's where it's like, oh my God, you know what? I paid 70 bucks for these. I need to sell these fast because the next month statement's coming out, right? That's where you screw yourself, guys. If you're in the situation where you have to use leverage for your investment, you need to reevaluate. You should not be looking at buying 50, 100 ETBs. You should look out and buy 1 or 2 because that's what's in your budget. You know what I mean? Eventually, you can get to that level where now you're buying 50, 100, maybe even a 500 or 1,000, but just be realistic with yourself. Be understanding of what your budget is, and don't ever put yourself at risk for something silly like Pokemon. I love every single one of you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. If you made it to the end of the video, I want you to put in hashtag North Face, hashtag North Face. Hey, happy holidays, man. Things are looking good, and I'm really excited to get into Japanese. Like I said, things are going fantastic for the store. I appreciate every single one of you. Even if you don't buy something from the store, it's just awesome that you watch all my videos. Please like this and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. DJ's Poke Center, signing out.